Welcome to this tutorial. In this video we're going to be exploring how to create and optimize an iron farm that I think that is one of the most important farms to have in your world. So for that we're gonna be looking all the aspects that you have to have in mind before designing and creating this kind of iron farm, and then we're going to be trying to create the most efficient iron farm that you can create using just water streams. That is the thing that I can create in my skyblock. So for that, we're going to be using my engineering knowledge, my probability knowledge, and all my studies that I do in my career. And with that information, I will be trying to recreate the most efficient iron farm that I can create. The first thing you have to have in mind is that to create an iron farm, the main thing you need is a village. Well, not exactly a village. You need 3 villagers, because these 3 villagers, if they have a bed and detect other 2 villagers in an area of 16 by 16, they can create a thing that's called a villager cluster, a village cluster, and that's the thing that allows us to generate some iron golems. If you don't have enough villagers, there is impossible that with only 2 villagers you can create an iron golem. And also, if the villagers doesn't have a bed, they also can create a villager. This is because the next thing. For the rest of the video, I'm going to be using this tool that is called the carpet mod, and it's a creation by the YouTuber called Nembon. He is one of the best technic players that Minecraft had ever had in his history, and created this mod for allowing us to create an experiment with the different farms. And as you can see here, now that I activated this command over here that allows me to have a ton of information about the iron golem spawning, I have here 3 different layouts. The first one is an attempt that each one of these villagers are intending to create an iron golem. Every 5 seconds they try to generate an iron golem, and if they don't have some conditions, they cannot generate the iron golem. The other thing is this one, slept, and it says never because none of these villagers have slept a single time, and if they don't have a bed, they can't sleep. So if they don't sleep, they won't generate a golem, and they have to sleep once every 20 minutes if you want them to you can generate some iron golems. And the other one, the last one, is the golem counter. This is a counter that will last for 30 seconds and is a detection method that they have for, oh, it's turning dark, that they have to detect if they are protected by a golem or not. They can only generate a golem every 30 seconds, but if they detect a golem in this gray box over here, this gray one, if they detect a golem in this area, they not generate another one. So another thing that you will have in mind is that you have to take out the golem from this light gray box as fast as you can. Here, the last thing that you have to have in mind for these guys to spawn a golem is that they have to be scared. If they are not scared by a hostile mob in a specific way, a zombie or another undead mobs, like for example the husk or a drowned, they won't try to generate this golem. So if I place now some blocks over here, a tiny bit of them, let me put 3 of them. As you can see, they are trying to attempt, and now that they have blocks, sometimes it doesn't spawn. I'm going to tear this off. As you can see over here, I'm just going to let 9 blocks, and we're going to be testing if they can spawn in just 9 blocks an iron golem. This will have some utilities that we're going to be studying later. So the other thing and the last thing that you have to have in mind for the ability to spawn an iron golem is that they have to have a place for spawning the the iron golem. If there is not blocks available, you cannot intend for a golem to spawn. As you can see right here, a golem has spawned, so I'm going to be waiting and show you that sometimes it doesn't spawn. Okay, as you have seen there, the counter goes down to 0 and none iron golem is spawning, and this is because the next thing. As you can see right here, this is the full size of the green box in which you can expect an iron golem to spawn. I take out the boxes because I think it will be easier for you to see if I take it out. Each time the counter from the attempts time goes to 0, each villager creates a setup something like this. And this is a check if there is available spots for an iron golem to spawn. It checks all the 16 by 16, that is 256 blocks in this platform, and it checks for this kind of setup. A setup in which they have below an spawnable block, like a solid block or a top slab, and also it checks 3 blocks above, and it needed to be air above, so it doesn't matter if you have, for example, blocks like so. If there is accomplished this condition, it doesn't matter if there are like full blocks surrounding the spot, and this makes that you cannot put only few blocks because it won't be as efficient. So I've been calculating how is the amount that it's needed for you to ensure that a spawn is going to happen, because if you have only, for example, these 4 blocks, the probability that one of those attempts goes in one of those 4 blocks is tiny, so you will be lacking some efficiency. Using some external tools, I've programmed here the probability of a spawn doing depending of how many available spots there are, and as you can see here, it's going to stabilize over the 99%. So I'm going to translate this to a chart and show you the results. As you can see here in this graphic that I'm showing right now, up to 30 or 32 blocks, it gets up to 98% efficiency, and this will give us just a 2% lack of efficiency. With 32 is not even a 2%, it's 1.7%, and this is quite nice. So we're going to start to making some maths and seeing how many ingots that will cost us. So getting back to our villagers, we know that they can spawn a golem every 30 seconds, which means they can spawn 120 golems each hour. And knowing that each golem gives you between 3 and 5 iron ingots per kill, that means that in average you get 4 ingots per iron golem, which means that you're getting almost 480 iron ingots every single time, every single hour. So a lacking at 2%, which means almost 10 iron ingots, but I think is mostly affordable when we get to the next point of the video. So for now, this is all what you have to know about the specific thing of spawning of these iron golems. You have to have in mind that you need 3 villagers, you need them to be scared, and you need enough space for the golems to spawn to ensure you that they will spawn. Second thing we're going to be heading and setting our focus at is this gray box, in which the villagers detect, as you can see here with these lines, they detect the presence of this iron golem. And as you can see over here, this counter that is trying to get back, every 10 seconds, which means 200 ticks, get back up into the counter of 600 seconds. This means that you have to take the villager out, the iron golem out, as fast as you can of this gray box, because if not, they will be detecting the presence of this golem and they won't try to spawn another one because they feel safe if they have a golem in range. So you have to design a way to kill them or move these iron golems as fast as you can. I had enough obsidian. I will create something like this setup over here, that will allow me to send the iron golems instantly to the nether, so this won't makes me get any kind of lack of efficiency, because they disappear instantly when they spawn. As you can see over here, let me see if they can have this counter back down to 0, and then you'll see that a golem is going to spawn, in which the counter goes back to 0, and it instantly disappears. Instantly. So if I go to the nether right now, there will be, I don't know if it's two or three iron golems over here, as you can see, 3 of them, and they disappear instantly. But the thing is that we are not having this obsidian, so we have to make a little invention to avoid this setup and to use something that we actually can use. The other way to make them disappear as fast as you can is to kill them, and for that you have some different methods. You can use, for example, this with the roses, or even combine them with, for example, powder snow, that I can do like so. Let me test. I can do like so. Set powder. Oh, it's with double slash. Powder snow. And now it's the combined effect of this powder snow and this wither roses, or even set up a layer of signs and then put lava. But this will take time, and all the time that he stays over here is some efficiency that we are losing. So this setup is not as nice as I intended. Another thing that you can do is to move the iron golems as fast as you can, and this is a way that I've seen in some farms. It's not exactly like this. You have to have a way to change the setup from water to non-water to air, and then use these soulstone blocks for make the golems go up and get out of the range of these villagers as fast as you can. But I don't have neither this soulstone, neither the droppers to create this kind of setup. So this is also not a way that I can do it. The pistons are all of the things that needs cobblestone to create the movement of the iron golems is not allowed for me. So the next thing that I can do is use a thing that all Minecraft players can use, and it's gravity. In Minecraft we have gravity, and it works pretty nice. The thing that I thought is to use this water stream in the corner for the iron golem not to see this zombie, and get pushed as fast as I can, and then drop this tiny fall that are a few blocks, and count how many times it gets for an iron golem to move these 2 blocks. That if you count, this is a 2 by 16, so it's a 32 spawnable area, and we said earlier that that means a 98.5% of efficiency, so only lacking 1.5% of efficiency. And see how many times this iron golem stays over here, and count how many seconds are that, and see how many efficiency are we losing with this setup instead of the nether portals. Doing some little maths, you know that a water stream push 1.35 blocks per second, a mob, 1.35 blocks, no, 1 block, it lasts 1.35 seconds. So these 2 blocks, it will last 2.7, knowing that they have to push between 2 and 3, or between 1 and 3. So that's 2.7 seconds in a media, in the average. And also we know that the Minecraft gravity acceleration is 32 blocks per second. So if you use the equation for the uniformity acceleration movement, uniformity linear acceleration movement, as you can see over here, it gives you that it lasts 0.935 seconds until he goes from there to the place that they cannot keep the track of the iron golem. And that in assume it will made up to 3.6 seconds, which means a little bit more than a 10% lack of efficiency. But I think this is the best setup that I can do just with these water streams. So this is it for the I don't know, for the section of the killing the iron golems or moving the iron golems. And now the last thing I have to create is a way for letting them sleep, because if the zombie keeps watching them, they won't be able to sleep unless this zombie stops watching at them. So for that, I need a way to every 30 seconds allow this guy to watch them and scare them, and to synchronize that with the golem timer. And for that, I have an idea in mind. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the setup that I'm getting with. And with this, I have a little problem, and is that I'm lacking a ton of efficiency. But I think that if I get the amount of water push that I need right, this is quite promising, and maybe doesn't make me lose more than 12 or 30%. That is the same time that I lose with these water streams. So I think this is quite promising, because when the zombie gets over there, this allows me to have my villagers sleeping. And also this allows me to create some modules and have another cluster here, another cluster here, and another cluster there. So have 4 villager clusters that allows me to multiply by 4 the amount of iron that I'm getting, and also multiply it in vertical if I wanted to create more iron. So this setup is pretty efficient, I'm loving it. I created these 5 setups, and as you can see, they are from different sizes. This is the first one that I create, and I have 3 of them over there, and I'm going to be testing the efficiency of each one and see how is the best way to do it. I think this one and this one will be the most promising. This is a rectangle from 11 by 12, and this is a square from 12 by 12. And I think this one or this one will be the most promising, because they have a ton of iron golems over there. I set up these walls that comes with the carpet mod and allows me to count the items that I'm getting. So I'm going to be AFK here for a little bit, seeing the results. After running a little bit of a test, I've seen that these 3 are the most efficient. And as you can see here, as I said earlier, this one that is the red one, that is this setup, and this one that is the blue, are the 2 that are generating most, 229 iron ingots per hour, and this one is 343. So I'm gonna be testing this one to see exactly how efficient it is. And this one, that is the green one, is 166. That is not bad, but it's not enough. So I'm gonna be running some tests with this one and showing you the results. So as you can see here, I created this 4 module farm, and it's working like a charm. As you can see over here, I have a ton of these iron golems. As you can see over here, I'm using snow powder because in my Skyblock world is the only method I have to kill them, but you can use anything you want. And I have a ton of them. There is a constant flow of iron golems, as you can see, one, another, and another. And now I think someone is going to generate over here, and this is constant. And if I do this, let me see here, spawning true, there's a tiny bit of a lack of efficiency. As you can see over here, I'm losing almost 5 seconds. I'm going to take off the tick warp. I'm losing 5 seconds per each spawning, and also a tiny other bit for the guy to come. For example, here I'm losing 10 seconds, and this is getting me a lack of efficiency of another 10 to 13%. But now that I'm counting for 5 minutes, it says 1862. This is obviously false, because this would mean almost a 95% efficiency, and we've checked that that's not true. And this will be for today's episode. This is getting up to 74% of the maximum that Minecraft can get you, and this is great. This is massive, and it will be a much improvement for any of your worlds, even for mine. And that's it for today. If you like the video, don't forget to leave a like, a comment, and also subscribe. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers, and that's my first benchmark. So if you are willing to support my content, subscribing is a great way to do it. It's not going to make me rich, but it's going to make me happy. So if you're going to subscribe, I will appreciate it a lot. Remember to enjoy your life, and goodbye.